NCAA basketball totals for Thursday, December 1st. It's already December. We got 3 games on the card today. Don't forget to check out SBR, as always, for the Sportsbook odds. All the numbers are there. Sportsbook reviews, sign-up bonuses, things like that. So be sure to check out our website, and let's jump into today. Not a big card of games out there, but I think there's a little bit of value on some of them. So let's just go ahead and let's just get to it. Here we go. We got first one up. We got Ryder and Fairfield. Odds makers have it at 140. But I'm going to go over the total. Now, this is the Metro Atlantic matchup. Fairfield should be able to control the tempo because they're at home in this game, and they got most of their scores back from last year. Ryder, they got some transfers in, but they're not scoring at a really high clip, and they flat out cannot shoot the three right now, shooting just 20.8% from distance. But if we look at some of their numbers, right now we got Fairfield, they're averaging 75 points per game. Ryder's averaging just over 69 points per game, so that's not bad. They're both giving up their fair share as well, with Fairfield allowing 69 points per game and Ryder allowing 67 points per game. So it seems like a really even matchup. They played to a couple tight contests last year, but I like the pace of Fairfield. I think they're going to be able to control it because they are, again, at home, and they've had a few high-scoring affairs this year. Their adjusted tempo is really solid. Their possession, time per possession is really good as well, as far as getting up shots in an efficient manner. And their shooting percentages are pretty good across the board right now. You got them, Fairfield shooting 54.7% on their 2-point shots. That ranks in the top part of the country. Not bad from beyond the arc, shooting 37%. Ryder's not that great defensively, according to these numbers. And again, they lost quite a bit last year. But still, at the end of the day, I think they're going to get up and down a little bit. I think Fairfield's going to control the tempo, which is really going to help in this aspect. So I like for Fairfield to go ahead and score and for Ryder to keep up with them. So I'm going to go over that 140 in a Metro Atlantic game. I want to continue to do a lot of research on those games because those are our Friday matchups. I think it's the Metro Atlantic and the Ivy League when league play starts. So I want to make sure I'm on top of those. So we're going to learn a lot from this matchup right here. Next one up we got is Cincinnati, Iowa State, one of the better games of the day. Low total here, 140.5 set by odds makers. I'm going to go over. Iowa State's just too fast for me. And I think Cincinnati, although they play tremendous defense and they have a very nice ball club, I like for this game being at Iowa State for them to go ahead and push some tempo. And Cincinnati, they can score right now. Cincinnati, they're averaging 76.8 points per game. Iowa's averaging 88.8. That ranks 10th in the country. So, the issue is if this was a neutral floor, I don't know if I'd go for this because you got Cincinnati right now. They're allowing just 59.2 points per game. That ranks 12th. But if you look at Cincinnati's matchups, they really have not played anybody, outside of Penn State's decent. The best team they have played so far would be Rhode Island, and they allowed 76 points. Iowa State can score. They're going to get up and down. That's what they do. Percentage-wise, Iowa State's playing a little bit of defense. So I'll get back to percentages in a second. 64.8 points per game. But again, outside of Gonzaga, well, they played Miami. Miami's a pretty good team. 73-56 win. That's pretty good. That's some pretty good defense. But Cincinnati, they're not, they're okay with getting up and down the floor. Right now, they're getting up 58.8 attempts per game. That's pretty solid. And they're shooting almost 49% for the field. That's really good as well. Then you got Iowa State. They're going to allow that tempo. They're allowing opponents to get up over 63 attempts per game. That's a lot, of course, and they're getting up a ridiculous amount. They're getting up 73 attempts per game. That ranks first in the country. So the issue is, can Cincinnati get back in transition and stop Iowa State from pushing so much tempo? I don't think they can do it on the road, and I think Cincinnati has the athletes to go ahead and keep up. Very nice matchup here of two conflicting styles, it seems. But Cincinnati, I don't think they have any problem going ahead and running with Iowa State tonight. So I think we're going to see them get up and down. Cincinnati, they shoot 57% of their 2-point shots. That ranks 24th in the country. So at the end of the day, yeah, I think that's going to get over that 140.5. I think that's a bit too low for this matchup. Last one up we got is Oregon State and Mississippi State. Ben Howland, now back in the game, former UCLA guy at Mississippi State. They've been struggling a little bit. They will play some defense, though. Odds makers have it at 133.5, and I'm going under. Neither of these teams are very good shooting teams. They don't go at a really fast tempo. Mississippi State, somewhat. But they both play pretty good defense. The numbers don't really show it, but the percentages do. So right now you got Oregon State. They're scoring 65 points per game. Mississippi State's allowing over 71 points per game. That is not very good. But they have played some pretty up-tempo teams. So I'm gonna let them slide and see what they do in SEC play. Mississippi State, they're averaging 69.7 points per game, and Oregon State's allowing 67.7. So just on their scoring alone, it doesn't look like they're going to get there. But then their shooting percentages, that's the part that really gets me. Mississippi State, they're shooting just 42.5% from the floor. They're allowing opponents to shoot about 45%. That's not great. That's not great. But Oregon State, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 37.4% overall. That's really good, and they're on the road, so they're going to have to step it up defensively. They're also Oregon State shooting 44.7%. That's not great, and they're shooting only 26.4% on their three-point shots. Mississippi State, they're shooting just 30% from distance. So I don't see them scoring a lot tonight. I could be wrong, just like a couple NBA games yesterday where they just absolutely shot lights out, and that happens sometimes in basketball. But the pace and the numbers, I don't think they're going to get there, and both teams can play a little bit of defense. Mississippi State, now a little closer look on their numbers, they've actually lacked a little bit more than I anticipated on the defensive end. I was looking, they defend the three pretty well, but they're overall, allowing just 33% from distance. But overall, yeah, they definitely need to improve. But Oregon State's not a very good shooting team, so I like for them to go ahead and keep this under. One last point I want to make on this. You got Oregon State, they're getting up just 50 attempts per game. And Mississippi State, they're getting up just 57. So it's not going to be a real fast-paced game. And I like for them to stay under this total. And that's it. All right, let's break this down one more time. Not a really fascinating day of games out there. We got Rider Fairfield again over the 140. Cincinnati, Iowa State over the 140.5. Oregon State, Mississippi State under the 133.5. Be sure to check out SBR. Don't forget to check out our NBA segment as well. And I wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.